In this video, I'm going to show you how to really learn to trade and 3 problems you'll likely encounter. And when fixed, will help you to be consistently profitable. And for those of you who are new, my name is Kiran and I'm a professional trader. And I also help struggling traders, so busy professionals and everyday people, to be profitable. And in fact, 8-figure entrepreneurs also come to me for help to be a profitable trader. And so the advice in this video isn't some cross your fingers and hope for the best kind of advice. No. This is actually advice that I've learned from being in the trenches now for almost just over 10 years. Now, you're probably wondering, Kiran, why the hell is there a lettuce in front of me? And don't worry, I'll get to that. It'll make sense. But what I've noticed is that there's usually 3 issues in trading that most of my clients actually face before coming to me for help. And it usually is a knowledge, skill, or execution issue. And we'll break that down one by one. So starting off with a knowledge problem. See, over the last 10 years, I've literally tried every trading strategy out there, right? You name it, right? And what I want to make you realize is that more information does not equal more profitability. In fact, some of the best traders actually keep things simple, right? Now, imagine you met me and you knew nothing about me. And then if I said to you, oh, the Battle of Hastings happened in 1066, or the mitochondria is the powers of the cell. Now, you'd probably make some snapshot judgment about me and say, okay, this guy's probably intelligent. But the real truth is that all I've done is regurgitate useless information, which is semantic, with no practical, tangible use. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that in trading, it's not about what you know. It's about how you use what you know. And in trading, there really is an ignorance tax. Because if you don't do the right things, not only do you lose more money, you also lose more time as well. And of course, when you're starting off, you can try things like candlestick patterns, market structure, but please understand that knowing this doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a profitable trader. My recent client, Danny, right, he's a website designer and he's in his mid-30s to 40s. And he came to me and was struggling, right? He was losing a lot of money. And he was using things like chart patterns. So he would draw double tops like this and he would short. But of course, in real life, what happens? There's a final stop hunt like this and the price action would go down. Similarly, he would also rely on drawing trend lines. So he would wait for this, push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push down. And he would wait for 3 touch points like this and try to open a long position on the trend line. And I explained to him that mass market psychology and mass market education is very outdated. And these things don't work in real life. And in fact, institutions and big money actually know retail are doing this. And so they actually target retail traders, right? And so my point is, do not confuse more information as equaling more profitability. And so this brings me back to the lettuce, right? So this lettuce is dirty. It's not washed. It's unclean. And this is a reality. A lot of people are confusing themselves by spending hundreds of hours in front of charts, arguing with people on Twitter. But again, this is just leading to analysis paralysis. And in trading, what we actually want is this. We want to have a nice, clean, washed, and ready to eat lettuce. So it's not about making money. It's about actually having a profitable strategy that actually comes up profitable across 30, 40, 50, 100 trades. And recent client Danny, for example, he was losing money and saying, Kiran, I just lack confidence. And so I asked him, well, Danny, where does confidence come from? And he was thinking, well, confidence comes, well, maybe I need to read more information online. And he was heavily reliant again on reading the news. But then I said to them again, the problem is news is heavily manipulated. And actually, negative news gets 3 times the attention as positive news, right? And actually, it's a chart that tells a story. And so this is something to really consider. Something else to have is a trading framework. So understanding things like risk management, where to put the stop loss, but also understanding which time frame works for you. So for example, some people like to scalp. So this is the lower time frame. So trading on the 1 minute, 5 minute chart. Then there's also intraday trading, which isn't as frequent as scalper, but it's still maybe a trade a day. And then there's swing trading, which is a higher time frame. But if you're starting, I would recommend perhaps scalping, and this way you get exposure to the markets and trying to be in the trenches a bit more as well. The second major issue in trading is a skill issue. Now, people are very dismissive. They'll say it's the psychology. But hang on a minute. One thing at a time. For example, if someone is trying to drive a plane, well, initially, they might crash the plane. Now, that person might say, oh, it's my psychology. But it genuinely could be they just don't have a certain level of competence, right? Now, if that person practice and spend time with a senior pilot, that person will get used to it, flying a plane, and then will develop competence. But once he's developed competence, then he can address other issues like psychology. So I find that a lot of people are quick to say things like, oh, it's your psychology, and oh, you should read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. But please understand that, first of all, once you've got the knowledge sorted, you have to actually gain practical experience in the charts as well. And I would actually start by practicing on a demo account. And this way, you're able to practice using virtual money. And you will make mistakes, but that's okay. The main thing is to learn as cheaply as possible without paying the market directly. And you'll get used to things like position sizing, stop loss management, take profit. And here you will practice developing your strategy and get used to sticking to rules. And this in turn will help you to build discipline and also develop the skill of trading. But of course, you can't trade on a demo account forever. I then recommend perhaps opening a small $100, $200 account, right? Nothing crazy. And this way you're a bit more invested in your trading decisions. But at the same time, if you lose, it's not the end of the world. And this leads me on to the third point, trading execution. And the reality is trading is 80% execution and maybe 20% knowledge. Trading execution is really the bridge between theory and being profitable. And in the live account, you're actually entering trades with a predefined risk, with a stop loss and take profit. But now this time, your psychology is on the line because you're actually invested personally in the trade. And again, by sticking to your rules, you develop discipline, which further helps to improve your confidence. And I see traders all the time, they're trying to flip their account into millions. Consistency is very important. And once you're consistent, you can always drip feed more money into your account. And in my own situation many years ago, I worked part-time jobs and I did that. But also now you can also scale. You can access more capital once you prove you're profitable, right? So once you're consistent, doors can really open for you. And there's no rush, I would say. Another problem traders often face, and which you'll probably encounter as well, is FOMO. But I always say that discipline wins in the short term, but the environment gets the last laugh. So really try and think, how can you protect you from yourself? For example, if someone was trying to give up alcohol, and if that person goes out to parties all the time, their friends will probably say, it's okay, man, you gotta live a little. Well, that person is probably going to drink alcohol again. Similarly, if someone is trying to give up smoking, but then if they live in a house where everyone else is a smoker, that person's probably going to smoke again. Similarly, if you're going to lose weight, if you put a cookie jar right in the middle of the kitchen, you're probably not going to lose weight, right? Think, how can you make your environment more conducive to success? For example, maybe you might put alerts at key levels instead of aimlessly staring at charts all day, which in turn would lead to FOMO. Perhaps you have a trading checklist right in front of you in TradingView or in your charting software, because sometimes when the rules are out of sight, it can be out of mind. So really try and think about these things and take practical steps to avoid FOMO. So I would say the major steps, especially when you're learning to trade, are, first of all, ensure you've got a good grounding in this knowledge and practice again on a demo account. And once you have a system and once you are consistently profitable, then you're ready to go to a live account. And you can start with, say, small $100, $200 account. And when you've got a system which you're able to manage risk but also be profitable in, then you can start scaling. So you can either add some of your own funds from part-time jobs, side hustles, or you can access more capital. And so these are the three main frameworks. And if you want to avoid some serious trading mistakes, then do check out my previous video